All set.
Okay, thank you, Kathy. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. It's Monday night. It's Monday Night Live, and I love getting together with you on every Monday night, though I have an announcement to make at the end of the call. We're looking at a new decade coming up, so we're looking at some changes. But I thought tonight we're going to break from our Eric Worre training because I thought we would focus on the people that were actually out there doing it. You know, I've been showcasing for the past couple months those partners that are constantly, you know, their preferred customer account, their AROs are just, you know, breaking the sky limit. And I just thought we would continue with that because it's exciting. So tonight I have two amazing partners who I've always seemed to be celebrating. And I want to start with David Henderson. David is from Frisco. He's a VF, but let me tell you, he came on the scene at the end of September, and he has been consistently with 10 or more preferred customers ever since. He knows what he wants. He knows where he's going, and he's just being a blessing to so many people that I asked David to be on the call tonight to tell his story. David, why did you say yes to Juice Plus, and why are you sharing it with friends and family?
Hey, actually, I'm one of a million stories where I'm one of the people that said no to Juice Plus at first. My wife and I both did, and for a lot of reasons, and all the reasons you've heard before. Interestingly, I suffer from a disease called ulcerative colitis. And you might have heard of that before. It's related to Crohn's disease, real similar things. And what I really needed in my life was a way to get nutrients into my body and to heal and things like that. And the story that I was getting from my GI doctor was, listen, fruits and vegetables and plants, you know, when you're flaring, those are the things that are going to hurt you the most. Because they're going to cause your colon to move and do all these things. So when you're having one of these bouts and flares, what you want to do is just get rid of all those things and just eat, you know, anything that's like a hamburger is fine, and whatever greasy things like that. And it was kind of in the middle of all that. And I had already almost lost my colon, and it was a big surgical or almost surgical emergency and things like this. And when I heard that advice, it was just kind of like, I cannot see how this could possibly be good. And then kind of reviewing everything, it was just everything out there is a short-term solution for whatever it is you're looking for. So yeah, I could get rid of an ulcerative colitis flare, but on the other side of that, I'm way more overweight than I was, and my skin is in nasty condition, things like that. And it's the same thing when people are thinking about weight loss. We've had a lot of clients lately with the same thing that are just thinking, I want to lose weight really quickly. And I'm like, well, can I see the nutrition label on that thing that you're using? And I look at it and I'm like, this is awful. You can't eat this. So anyway, all of those things, and what it took was just Jen Grubb, a lot of you guys know her, just hit us at the right time. And the great thing about Jen is that we had already told her no a few years ago, and she just kept consistent, stayed friendly, stayed friends with us, and we knew what she did. And eventually we were like, hey, we need that. And so a big story about staying consistent. Then when she did hit us up, it was right in the middle of me looking at myself being like, I really actually am I've actually lost 40 pounds. If you knew me before, I was 40 pounds heavier than this about 5 months ago.
Wow.
And so we shredded for 4 months and worked out consistently and things like that along with that. And we've gone mostly plant-based using that as a jump start, and it's been fantastic. But at the beginning, you know, when we started, for me, and something I wanted to kind of share with everybody is it actually began with a mistake in my understanding that developed into something that's been really great. And that was what I heard Jen say was a 4-month commitment. And that was about the Juice Plus capsules and the gummies. But what I interpreted that as was, oh, Shred is a 4-month program. And so I was like, yeah, I'm on board for 4 months. Sign me up. So we did 1 month. In the middle of that 1 month, we sat down with Jamie and Jen and talked about the business and things like that. And that's when I kind of realized, oh, this is just kind of it's supposed to be a 1 month thing, but my mind was already set. And so we thought about that a little bit, and then and we got into the business. And a little while later, I got back together with Jamie and Jen, and I was like, guys, I think this needs to be a 4-month program. If somebody wants to work on themselves, or whether it's lose weight or get healthy or things like that, the stuff that's in these shakes combined with the Juice Plus capsule and gummy is incredible. But we need to think about this in a 4-month way, and we need to be able to walk people through it in a way that adds value across 4 months. And so what we did is we began at the beginning. We said, okay, in this first month, what people need is a way to connect with the product and connect with themselves in a way that doesn't make them feel guilty, in a way that doesn't make them nervous and scared or anything like that, but in a way that says, listen, all we want you to do in this first month is discover who you are, what your relationship is with food, what your struggles are, and things like that. So that during this first month, when people are on the shred, it's just this ongoing conversation between an entire community of people and with us and everything like that. And people find out so much about themselves. Like, I have trouble drinking water, or it was actually very easy to let go of caffeine and harder to let go of eating after 6 p.m. and all this kind of stuff. And so in that first month, but then they're like, oh man, I fell off the wagon and whatever. And we're like, yeah, sometimes you fall off the wagon. That's fine. Look what you've discovered about yourself. It's awesome. Guess what? In a little bit, we're going to pick up on another month of shred. You're going to be fine. And you see people respond to that with this, oh yeah, I can do this. And they kind of pick themselves back up and partner with you and order some more shakes. And it's fantastic. And so then in month 2, we kind of encourage people a little bit more, and we've called month 2 develop. Okay. So in month 1, we told you just to discover yourself, and we told you to not set any goals, actually. And why not? Well, because you're discovering yourself, you don't know what kind of goals you're capable of. Mm-hmm. So then we get to month 2 and we're like, all right, let's use the information that we've just used and set some goals. And people are like, okay, yeah, I want to do that. For me, it was getting to like 175 pounds or something like that. And I accomplished it. I knew that I could, and things like that. Then we moved to month 3, and month 3 is a little bit fun. We say it's time for an adventure. You've now shredded for 2 months solid. You're in your 3rd month. And what we need you to do is pick some kind of adventure to have. You're going to shred all month, not just 10 days. Or for me, it was, I'm going to run in a 5K. And if you would have asked me 5 months ago whether I would run in a 5K, I would have laughed you like just totally away from myself. There's no possible way. But I did. And it was, and then it was like, okay, I want to run 5K, but I want to do it in like 37 minutes. I just, maybe that would be good. And it's actually, I did it in 27 minutes, and it was, I got to the finish line and looked at my watch, and I didn't know anybody around me. And I was like, you guys, and, and all these people thinking I'm nuts. But just this, man, then in that month, you're just giving yourself this really solid victory, right? And then in month 4, we call that drive. And in month 4, it's like, okay, you have gotten past these 3 months. You've gotten into month 4. You have changed your mind. You've completely changed your body, right? If we're tracing the life cycle of a red blood cell, your relationship with food has completely transformed. Now it's time to set all goals aside and things like that, and just start launching your healthy lifestyle that has been kind of transformed over 4 months. And not only that, but in month 4, with this transformation, everyone in your life has noticed. You've probably already sent me clients or tried to. It's time to pick up the business and go. And so the conversation develops really, really nicely inside of all that. We're starting to add more and more people to our business who have been part of the shred, and they already have this wonderful story to tell. And that's one of the biggest challenges is getting people to recognize their story so that they can share it, right? Not everybody has ulcerative colitis, right? Not everybody is a recovering cancer victim or anything like that. Sometimes they just but everyone has a story, and this program is helping people kind of develop that story, and be able to tell it. It's been really exciting. And most of all, it's just fun. Man, we've had such a good time. And people are letting down kind of their walls and being funny and being vulnerable. And that just, I think, helps everybody else get on board and really get excited. So that's been kind of my journey to this point. It hasn't been a long one, but it's been a crazy quick one, and it's fun.
And you know, David, I think the reason that people let their walls down or are vulnerable is because that's what you are.
Yeah.
And that's exactly it. People feel so comfortable with you. I mean, that is what you give out, and then people turn around and mirror what you're giving. And
well, it's huge, right? Because if you'll just kind of admit your own weaknesses, and that's, I think one of the biggest turnoffs for any program or somebody else approaching me ever would be someone who came to me and was just like, I'm a perfect health. In fact, I have somebody in my life who is a very healthy person and has been vegetarian for a long time. And like, they're the reason I would not go plant-based for such a long time.
right.
Because they just view themselves as this paragon of health or whatever. And when you're like, listen, I make mistakes and whatever, people just respond better because they're human too. So yeah, I think you're totally right.
Oh my goodness. And so it's going to be so much fun to watch you continue to move through the marketing plan and continue to bless so many people, David. So
we got to hit it by the end of the year.
That's right. Sales coordinator. He knows what he wants. He knows where he's going. Thank you. Thank you, David. All right, so now listen, get ready, because the next story is a little similar to yours and yet totally different. And so she showed up like this. I mean, she came in like a wrecking ball. Jamie Baron is a wife. She's a mom. She's a medical professional. She comes from my favorite state, Oregon, okay? And I can't wait for you to hear her story, because last month in November, she had 17 AROs. All right, guys. Jamie Baron. Jamie, come on. Let us know your story.
All right. Hi. Yeah, I'm Jamie. I'm so glad that you shared before me, David, because I said no a whole lot also. Like for 12 years, said no. I actually had Juice Plus introduced me when I was 21, again when I was probably 25, and then finally in my late 20s when my sister-in-law, Kelsey, who is now my upline, shared with my husband about it, who is her brother. And really the only reason that I said yes was because my husband wanted to help his sister, like wanted to support his sister. So I was like, fine, but we're doing a duo and we're sharing it, and that's it. I mean, like, that was my level of commitment. I'm like, basically I'll give this thing 2 months and then I'm done. And honestly, you guys, I work night shift. I actually do imaging. Currently I do MRI, and back then I did X-ray and I did night shift. And so my health was really wonky anyway. And so I don't know that I saw, a whole bunch of improvements, but my husband, on the other hand, had been sleeping really poorly, started sleeping better. And then when we ran out about a week later, he started sleeping poorly again. And he was like, hey, I want to make this a thing. So we sort of like looked at the finances and we said, okay, but it's still, we're just doing the duo. I'm not investing a whole lot into this. And so fast forward, we actually moved to Nicaragua in the beginning of 2016. And we're missionaries down there, and schlepped a whole bunch of Juice Plus down with us. In fact, I was on the phone with customer service ahead of time saying, hey, this is how much I want. Is it going to be okay? We're going to an equatorial country. Is it going to get ruined? All these questions. But we did it, and we put it down there, and then getting it down there was interesting. Anybody who's lived overseas and tried to get something there, it's just a whole situation. But we really were starting to see the benefit of it, and especially in our immune support. And so when we went down there, and we knew we were going to be around tons of bacteria and viruses and all that stuff, and we didn't get sick. We lived there for 3 years, 2.5, 3 years. We didn't get sick. All of our friends got things like chikungunya and Zika and Montezuma's revenge, like the foodborne illnesses and all those bad things that nobody wants when they're in a hot country. And we didn't get sick. And I'm saying friends, like our next door neighbors got chikungunya. Okay. So that's like, we are exposed to the same viruses, the same mosquitoes, and we didn't get sick. And so Landon actually started the business while we were down in Nicaragua. He said, okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and do the business, kind of at the urging of Kelsey and Stephanie. And my exact words to him, remember, I'm the best skeptic there ever has been. My exact words were, I don't care if you do it, and I'm okay spending that $50. I don't want to touch it. Those are my like straight up like, and I was that blunt. I'm not exaggerating at all. And he can attest to that. If he was here, he would tell you that. And so he built up the business, became VF, was doing really well with it. We decided we wanted to try to have a kid. So I added in the berries, but again, he didn't get to take the berries because that was too much money. I mean, like this whole story is all this way. But I had a super healthy pregnancy. I had my daughter down in Nicaragua via C-section. She was born 8.5 pounds, super healthy, has never lost weight. At her first appointment, she was the same weight as when she was born. Her pediatrician was just floored by that. She has never, just a side note on that, she's 2 now. She's never gone to the doctor for an illness. She's never been on an antibiotic. She's never had a fever more than just for teething, which is like a low grade fever. I mean, she's like 2 years old and super healthy and literally touches every disgusting thing there is and puts it all in her mouth, and she's fine. So fast forward, we kind of came back from Nicaragua sort of unexpectedly and sort of needed to re-enter the United States. And there was a job up here. I live in Seaside, Oregon, and I actually work in Astoria. So I'm like basically as close to Washington State as I can possibly get without actually being there. I look over the river and that's Washington. And I got an MRI job. So we go from, and in Nicaragua, we worked with local kids. And so we were not only viruses, but also bacteria, because kids down there don't wash their hands after they use the latrine at home. So, and you're like, hanging out with them and all that stuff. So I went from all that bacteria and viruses to a different set of bacteria and viruses, and then coming home in the evening and not wanting to get my kid or my husband sick. And I actually said yes to the business. So still this whole time, my husband's just doing this on his own. I'm not touching it, right? So about July, I moved up here in February. About July, I sort of got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm a little bit bored at my job. I'm also a little bit lonely because I live in a small town. And I don't know if you know this about small towns. Sometimes it's hard to connect with people because there's a lot of people who have been here for a long, long time, and you're the new person and they don't know how to feel about you yet. And so I sort of was like, I have a lot of downtime. I need to engage. I need a challenge. This is not going to go well for like however long I have to be here. And so I talked to Kelsey and Stephanie and was like, okay, what does this look like? And they're so gracious. I was like, okay, I want to know all the things, all the da-da-da. And they were like, look, just start and we will get you there. Just start. So that on this whole 17 AROs thing, so I started in July, I would say. And then just this last month, I had that many customers. But that's that many months of talking with people. I had a few like added in there before or whatever. But really that was like 2 to 3 months, like that, November, that was 2 to 3 months of talking to people and sharing with people and connecting with people and answering questions and reminding people. And luckily, probably in August, middle of August, I was kind of having a bad day. And this like thought came to my mind is, it's not about you. And I was like, oh, okay. All right, good. Okay. So it's not about me. So that person not texting me back or that person not messaging me back, that's not about me. That's because their kid is sick today. Or that's because they have to like 16 other things to do today. It was just such a profound moment to remember that it's not about me. And as much as I love this and as much as I'm enjoying it, people have other stuff going on. And so that was really encouraging for me and sort of, it helped me sort of move forward. I kind of had a hump that I had to get over there. But along with that, I also just had to remember that, I'm going to get told no a lot. I think, Terri, I listened to something that you said, and it was something like, the only difference between me and them is that I've been told no more often, or maybe it was David, I can't remember. But I was like, okay, yeah, you're also going to get told no. I mean, I said no, right? I said no for 12 years. I said no a whole bunch. So anyway, so all that to say, I am loving it. I'm loving the business. I'm loving sharing with people. I'm super excited about this thing you just shared about, David. That sounds awesome and something that would be so great for people. And I love all this, like that I get to engage with people and hear different ideas and, you know, and then the health aspect of it. You guys, I work in a hospital and I work in a very retiree rich community. There's a lot of retirees where I work. And so a lot of people are very sick. And I don't want to be one of them. I want to prevent and help people prevent and not be the person that I'm taking care of that has a whole bunch of chronic illness happening and they're just struggling to make it, and, you know, all that stuff. So anyway, all that to say, I'm super excited. It's also kind of cool that I'm in a new area. I want to connect with doctors up here, and we have a cancer center and that kind of stuff. So super excited about it. I was like, yeah, I guess I'll share. And anyway, but I'm glad to be here and really excited to be a part of this thing. So.
Oh my gosh, Jamie, number one, you know, I'm going to be up in Oregon in just a week, and I'm on the coast like you, but we're like 300 miles apart, and I'm in a very small town too, so I know exactly what you mean. But guys, did you feel what I was feeling with both of them? Both David and Jamie, their energy is so high. We've heard it said you're responsible for the energy that you bring to the room. And Wallace Waddles, I'm going to tell you, I mean, walked the planet 1890, talked about this energy thing, increase of energy. And he talked about it in 1905. And that's what Chantel and David bring. And that's what Jamie brings. And I'm going to just read for you just a little bit about Wallace Waddles. He said that everyone, and I hate when people start a comment with everyone because we're all so different. But he said, everyone, all people are seeking one thing, and that's increase. We were made for growth and expansion, my friends. We were made for growth and expansion. And he said, expansion is one of our deepest instincts. Every man and woman wants more of the good things in life. Therefore, we are attracted to the person who can give us more love, more food, more status, more money, more growth, more gratitude, more compassion. We are attracted to these people. And that to me is why David continuously has all these AROs. And you have that too, Jamie. You have that gift of growth and expansion about you, and people are drawn to that. That's what people are drawn to. And so guys, 5 minutes. We got 2 more weeks for 2019. David's pretty clear about what he wants. I have a feeling Jamie is too. Jamie, sales coordinator, keep moving through the marketing plan. What is it that you want? My friends, you are not going to have that energy until you get clear about what it is that you want to be, do, and have in life. Okay, so take time. Take time in the next 2 weeks. Do the work. Analyze what it is that you're looking for. All right, and then make the decision. Nothing happens until you make the decision. That's when clarity and purpose come together. When you make the decision, that's when you become responsible for your life. So make some decisions. Think about, you know, what is it that you want to leave behind, that you don't want to drag into a new decade with you. Do the soul searching. Do the soul searching, and you will not ever be disappointed. All right, so for the past 15 years, I've done an 8 o'clock Monday night call. The only time I never showed up is if it was like right before a holiday, like next Monday night, right before Christmas. And it's really been put on my heart in the past couple months that it's just time for a change. And in the past 15 years, we've celebrated. I've coached on mindset so much, I'm surprised you guys still show up. You know, mindset and health and the microbiota and energy and inflammation and goals, you name it, we've talked about it. We've celebrated success. We've done so many things on this call, and I've been so proud of this call. But I've got a real sense that there are markets that are not being reached. And so moving forward in 2020 for this season, I'm not going to like completely disappear, but there will be no more Terri Luongo 8 o'clock call. I'm going to show up at 7 o'clock, which will be more user-friendly for East Coast people. And I will show up at 9 o'clock at night Central Time for all of these new teams growing on the West Coast. Because you've got to get, it's dinner time on the West Coast. And so it'll be smaller, it'll be more intimate. It's going to be my intention is to start creating some huge growth out there the way we have here in Texas. That's my intention. So if you want to jump on, you know, I'm not going to be posting it on all the team Facebook pages, okay? It's going to be me. And then when we do that West Coast call, I know Steph Fletch wants to participate because she's got all this Oregonian business. Judy Strickler's out there on the West Coast, but it's going to be a whole different kind of format. It'll be smaller, it'll be more intimate. And just want to leave you with this, is that when you have a really clear intention of what your future looks like, a really clear, and you match that with emotion, when you match that with emotion, in that moment, my friends, your body is no longer living in the past. You have broken the paradigm. And that's my wish for every single one of you moving into 2020. Bust out of your paradigms. Set your intentions. Match it with emotion. Miracles will happen. Thanks so much, guys. I love you. Peace and blessings. And yes, from the bottom of my heart, know that you're loved. Good night.
Good night.